What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting these possibilities for you to consider, enabling you to come up with your own conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders around the world, wherever you may be, my name is Logan. I'm going to be your tour guide for this presentation on the topic Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva. The big three, the Trimurti, Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva decoded. Ladies and gentlemen, I have another gem-filled, jam-packed presentation for all of you. So as I often say, put on a pair of headphones, block out the outside world. This one is going to really be some fun. And as in the beginning, you know, I'm in this hug stage, this just like embracing stage. So I have all the zodiacs coming out, being embraced. And so Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva decoded in the embracement of that. And this is how I originally had it right here. Originally, this is what I started. And you can see in this graphic here that on the left is Brahma, creation. On the right is Shiva, destruction. And in the middle is the preserver called Vishnu. And what I will tell you confidently at this stage, folks, is that it doesn't matter what religion you follow or culture you follow. It is a big Ponzi scheme. So if you're somebody who, you got to follow Jesus for salvation, then go do that. But I can tell you right now, all of these deities are tied to Jesus. All of them are tied to Lucifer. All of them are tied to Ahura Mazda. All of them are tied to Brahman, and all of them are tied to whatever deity that you want to talk about. We're going to get into the mythologies. It's tied to Zeus and Poseidon and Hades, the big three. Absolutely, folks. Brahma, Poseidon, Shiva, Hades, Vishnu, Zeus. Yes, and I'm going to show you the connections here, and this is why I'm all about the laughing and embracing now, because it's just a big cosmic joke. And we're going to talk about a big topic, which is this right here. I originally was going to do it I was going to do it on Maya. So I just decided to blend them together. And the synchronicities that have happened to me over the course of today, which I'm not even going to get into, they're absolutely mind-blowing. And I can't even go into it. It's just crazy how much in sync and real time it all is for me at this point, and maybe for you too. So this and Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Maya. What is Maya? Well, Maya is the illusion, right? The simulation. Simulation is Maya, folks. So these cultures talked about it. They talk about it in their own special formats. but it means the same thing. The great illusion, all history, it's Maya. It's all a great illusion. It's all part. Doesn't matter if you think it's wrong. If you think you got it all figured out and you're right and the other person's wrong, nobody's wrong. It doesn't matter about your opinion on how you think somebody's got it right or wrong and you got the truth and you... Folks, it's all Maya, man. We're all living inside Maya, the illusion. The illusion, folks. So here are the 3 topics of conversation for this presentation. The very first one, Maya. Second, the GD. And the third and final topic, operator. Operator. Ever call the operator? Anyway, let's get into the first topic now, Maya, the great illusion, which is what we're all living out. We're living in is Maya. And again, here's the definition of it. It's the divine power of illusion, which causes the appearance of our reality that we call duality. That's what Maya is. So all history, no matter if you think it's real or not, everything that's happened now, everything's happened in the past, it's all part of Maya. And everybody's doing this dance in their part. And nobody's wrong. Everybody's right. Even if you think they're wrong. They're just doing their part. In the grand illusion, as Styx sang. Which I could have brought that into it. So, let's start with some Sanskrit. You know, a lot of people have asked me over the years, Logan, you know, you decode English. What about the other languages? Okay, cool. So I'm bringing in Sanskrit, this beautiful, amazing language. And I went by the construct of the vowels first and the consonants in the strict order that they go in. And then it was challenging to create the calculator. I don't have it on the decoder yet because I don't have the coding skills to include it. But nonetheless, here it is, folks. Here is the word Maya in Sanskrit. Notice that it has Ma in it because it is feminine. That's why the females run the show here. They give birth. I can't give birth to the illusion. I can't give birth to a human being. I'm a male. So Maya has the word mother in it. And then the Ya. Maya. Notice it's an 83. And in the tradition of the Hinduism cosmologies, the Trimurti, as they call it, Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva, this is going to be the aspects of Maya. Okay, notice it's an 83. Now, remember, if you've been paying attention, the 3 is a broken 8. 8 means power and 3 means expansion. That's what those numbers mean. 8 is power, the torus field, the hourglass, the prison, and then 3 breaks out of that. It breaks out on each end, and now it's expansion. It's the force of expansion with the 3. The creative force. That's the house of Gemini, the way you think. It's all about communication, being creative. Okay, that's what the 83 means. And I'm going to go right to the Alchemology. Now, if you're new here, like, what is Alchemology? Taking language and moving it and matching it up with chemistry. Why would we do that? Because we are made up of a lot of these elements. Our reality is made up of a lot of these elements. These elements, some of them are crucial for our reality. For our existence. For DNA to survive, we have elements here. So we're just simply going to take the individual letters of Maya and match it up with the protons of each element. So we have the 39, yttrium, the 2, helium, the 40, zirconium, and then the 2 again, the Ya, helium. We add those up, and we get the number 187. And this is absolutely massive, because the 187, if you've been paying attention, is the great beast. So how about that? The great beast is Maya, folks. Does this not make any sense? No, it makes perfect sense. And the zodiac wheel has so much to do with it because of the constellations, the stars, and this is the as above. So when I do this right here, when I do the alchemology, which is taking the letters and converting it into the periodic table and the elements, then I did the same thing here. This is called astro alchemy, where Aries is hydrogen, number 1. Taurus is helium, number 2, etc., etc. And you go all the way around, and you got to include the 13. Not just 12, it's 13. That's the magic number. And when you add them all up, you get 187, just like you get it here by adding up the isotopes. Coincidence? No. So now you know what is Maya, the grand illusion, but it's created by the as above, which is the great beast. And it's tied to this element right here called osmium. So now you know. And what is the abbreviate? The acronym is OS, which stands for operating system. So what is the operating system? Maya, the grand illusion, the simulation that we're living in. Okay, so now we have confirmation because we've been doing this a long time now. Now we can connect all these beautiful layers. Let's do another one. Now let's bring theology into this. So we have astrology, we have cosmology and Hinduism and Buddhism, and the Sanskrit language. Now let's bring in Hebrew language and theology, and now bring in the Torah. Oh yeah, because the Torah is Hinduism and Hinduism is Torah. That's why it's just a big joke. And see, when I did the numerology for the first time, the serpent comes on the scene, and I found that the reduction of these numbers end up being 4. This is Genesis, right? The very first, this is in the beginning. Well, this is going to reduce. It's going to be 76. It reduces all the way down to the number 4, and it's Genesis chapter 3, verses 1. That's the 431. And I knew that was a prime number. And there it was, man. 431, 83rd prime number. And that's connected to Bismuth, binary. Binary is what? Maya, the grand illusion, and the serpent, the deceiver. The serpent is so big in this cosmology. The Nagas, the serpent people, the serpent race. Go study that, folks. This is what Maya is attributed to. This is what Vishnu lays on, is all about the serpent. And the serpent is now in theology in Genesis. So the Jewish faith brings their story into it. And we can easily connect it to Bismuth. And I mean, what do you see right there? What does that look like? Does that not look like a serpent? Well, it's definitely the number 8. Absolutely. What is 8 plus 3 reduced down to? 2. Binary. You see all these clues? Binary. Beta. This starts with bet. In the beginning is bet. It's not aleph, it's bet. This is bet. Binary. Binary. 2. Binary. Maya is the grand illusion of duality. And the serpent telling the woman, hey, you positively will not die. Yeah, that's why Jesus said you'll have eternal life. Same thing. So there's the scripture right here. Genesis 3 verses 1. Okay, the serpent. The serpent. And it's also tied to these 2 characters right here. And I'm going to get into them in some big ways a little bit later on. A lot of people, oh, it's not Jesus. It's Yeshua. Okay, great. And I broke this down in my Jesus-Lucifer scandal. And I did the numerology. I actually did the Hebrew gematria because people swear up and down it's Yeshua. No problem. Well, look at what it reduces down to. The number 8. And here's Lucifer in its original spelling from Isaiah 14 verses 12. That is a number 3. What is the 83? Maya. Maya, folks, the grand illusion. Jesus, the light of the world. Lucifer, the light bringer. Same thing. You see, they formed the 3 and the 8, and if you go to the tarot, you can see that the 38th card is a card of partnership. Oh yeah, they're in a partnership. Whether or not the characters are real, they're ideas, and they're part of Maya, the grand illusion. These 2 characters are part of the grand illusion. And I have these words right here, Mount Vernon and Cardiff. Why do I have those on there? Well, the 83, right? Here's the 8. Here's the 3. What's up with these 2 cities? Well, how about these 2 characters right here? Do you want to see some ridiculous scripted reality? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not on board with we live in Maya, If we live in an illusion and it's all a cosmic joke, what are you to describe on this? How are you going to make sense of what I'm showing you here? Jim, the guy who they casted to play in The Passion of the Christ, and he was also on the movie Sound of Freedom. Okay? The guy was born in Mount Vernon, Washington. And the guy they casted to play Lucifer, Thomas John Ellis, was born in Cardiff, Wales. There it is right there. How do you explain this? I mean, are you going to really tell me that these guys are all in on a conspiracy to get one past you because they know what Maya equals in Sanskrit numerology right here? They know this? My final answer is I am absolutely certain they do not know it. But it doesn't matter because they're being used. It's a cosmic joke, folks. The whole thing. And that's why we can see a scripted reality here. From the original spellings of what people swear up and down Jesus is from, no problem. There it is. There's the confirmation. And there is no doubt that we live in a scripted, this guy was supposed to play Christ. This guy was supposed to play Lucifer. I already broke Lucifer down twice to show that actors and actresses were being used to play out those roles. Okay, I mean, I could go on and on. How about this more? You want more ridiculousness? I know this is Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva. We're going to get to that. But this is the Maya now, the illusion. Because these two characters are part of the illusion, folks. Here is Jim's birthday, September 26, 1968. Here's Thomas John Ellis, November 17th, 1978. Look how many days in between their birthdays. 3,704 days. And what is that 3074 tied to? The number of the beast. Huh. So wait a minute. So we have a guy that played Jesus, and then we get the guy that played Lucifer, and in between their birthdays is 3,704 days, and that's the number of the beast when you add it up through mathematics. Now, how did I get this? Well, simple. Here is 666 in Greek from Revelation 13 verses 18, and you move to mathematics in the prime numbers. So there's 600, it's 4409. There's 60, it's 281, and there's number 6, 13. And when you add them all up, folks, there are the numbers right there. This is called the number permutation. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, do you think these guys are trying to get one past you? Do you think someone out there to mock you, to pull the woolly over your eyes? No. We live in the grand illusion where we're being used by the divine. You are the divine, folks. I've already covered this. Part of the beast, which is taught here, the 13 men from the Last Supper. There's their numerology in the original Greek. I've already covered this how many times now? 374. There's the 374 in there. There's the 374 in there. Now what do you think about Lucifer? Now what do you think about the Christ? It's all part of Maya, folks. The illusion. That's what it's all about. The grand illusion. The Ma, the mother, and the Yah. It's the mother and father, really, is what it is. And even when I broke down the 83, just to give you more confidence that this is a scripted reality, let's look to the 83. See, I did this in my scripted reality number 8. And I came out with, and I showed you in the golden ratio, in the string of mathematics using the golden ratio, what I did was I took the I am, right? Because in theology, Genesis 3 verses 14, God says, I am that I am. I am. And you say this a lot. That's because God is you and you are the divine. Well, you could spell it out. This gives you 369, and when you do the average weight of americium, but it's the 53 and the 95. And so I went into the golden ratio and I located the 53rd digit, which is the number 8. And I did the same thing for the number 95 to get that am. And there it is, 3. So there's 8 and 3. I am. I am. I am Maya. I am the great illusion, using you in the scheme of your experiences. I am these characters. See, these stories, folks, they're just stories. Just like you and I get a story. Part of the grand illusion, Maya. I am Maya. Okay? I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again. You take the 83 and you subtract the total amount of cards in a deck. In the playing cards is 52 cards. To get to 52 or below, we get 31. There's the 5 of diamonds. The 5 of diamonds is the 31st card. And the 31st card in the tarot turns into the 69th card, the 5 of pentacles. And what is the 69? The yin yang. What is the yin yang? Maya. Maya is duality. So all we have to do is use these tools. That's all we have to do. 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. The grand illusion, folks. And this 31 is really big. That's tied to the absolute right here. See, 31 is the 11th prime number. There's the 31st card, right? And there's the absolute off of this right here. This was the declassified CIA document. This was off Morg's channel. Big shout out to him and his material. That's where I got this from. This is from declassified CIA document saying that you are God. And it's they call it the absolute. And it's projecting a hologram of itself. That's Maya. And then perceiving it. That is Maya. Mirror, Maya. You see. Absolute 31. You are me. God, this is the divine telling you. You're me, I'm you. And it's the snake head. That's what it is. And it's this, folks. Right here. It's the 5 of 5. That's why the 5 sits in the middle of your dial pad. 5 sits in the middle of your dial pad of your phone and your calculator. You have 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. It's tied to Maya, which is the duality. It's yin yang and it's the serpent. Okay? That's why the serpent is so big in all of this stuff. Okay? So I would encourage you to read this because now we have the connections that are undeniable now. And I did the decode on this, and this is my final answer. You're in Maya, folks. You're God experiencing yourself, like it says. You're perceiving yourself. You're projecting a hologram, and you're perceiving yourself, and it's using you as an avatar, as a character, and you're not in control of your reality. That's why we can decode it. We can string these numbers together, and we can see how amazing it is, and how masterful it is, and how perfected it is. So let's keep going. What about the 83 in the Maya when you say 8-3? When I say 8-3, you get 39. And what's the 39 tied to? Well, it's just the pineal gland. Not a big deal. We should just probably brush this off. How big is the pineal gland in our culture? It's revered in these ancient cultures. The pineal gland, now you know, is tied to and creates Maya. Because the pineal gland is what regulates sleep and awake cycles. It's right there. The numerology matches it as well. Okay, melatonin is what shuts it on, shuts it off. It controls light and dark from the retina. Okay, that's Maya, folks. The grand illusion is when you go to sleep and when you wake up. And the pineal gland is tied right to Maya. Pretty amazing. All right, let's get into the next topic now. We having fun yet? Second topic, GD. Just God, right? The GD. But what I want to be very specific of is generate and destroy. The GD. Right? Not the operate, that's Vishnu. Generate and destroy, which is this right here. Brahma, generate, the creator God, and destroy Shiva, the dance of Shiva. And this is our duality, folks. This is when we're born and when we die. This is going from spring and then moving into summer after spring is destroyed. Right? We ease into that. Okay? The melting away of these seasons. Fire, air, water, earth. All of these can be labeled into this right here. We have shalom and sin. That's what we have. We have shalom and sin. We have, Ra. Shalom and Ra. Excuse me. Shalom, generate, Brahma, and Ra, destroy, Shiva. Absolutely. So now you can just easily connect Judaism to Hinduism. Same thing. But now we have the confidence to know and see these numbers, and now it's undeniable here if somebody who's a fan of these numbers. So let's move into now and look at what does it mean through the tarot. Through the tarot and the cards of illumination. So we have some calculations going on here. And what we're doing is we're taking the total we get from the numerology of Brahma and Shiva, and I want to get to a playing card. So as we know, when you go to the playing cards right here, okay? The playing cards, there are 52 of them. Okay, 52. Right? 52 the playing cards, not including the jokers. So if you get a number above 52, you subtract 52 until you get to 52 or below. And that's going to provide you a card, and then you can convert it into the tarot to get the image, because we think in pictures. That's the grand illusion. So 166 from Brahma's numerology, we got to do it 3 times, and we get to the number 10. That's the 10 of hearts. And that converts into the 46 card in the tarot, the 10 of cups. This is tied to, think about what I'm showing you. This is Brahma, the creator. The creator energy you generate a paradise. You generate a place of peace and bliss and plentifulness. But then when you move over here to Shiva, and Shiva gets its turn, 87, and we just have to do it one time, minus 52, 35. Now, simulation is 35, so Shiva destroys the simulation, but here it is, the 9 of diamonds. It's the 9 of pentacles. And the 9 of discs. Now, what is this right here? See, this right here, folks, the 9 of pentacles is the repeat of ego at its highest level. The 9 is the repeater number. See, this is like everything you want. This is, you're on television, this card. But this card right here is a parasite. Because you see, Shiva is a destroyer. When we become this energy right here, and we all do, you become the star of the show, you become somebody who it becomes a parasite. Now, humor me on this. What do I mean by that? What I'm saying is that you and I, we parasite from the earth. We destroy it. It doesn't matter if you what this or what that. It doesn't matter how careful you are, folks. We're killing machines. If you wipe your ass with toilet paper, you're part of the trees being cut down, and the displacement of animals when those trees get put out there, the farming of them. If you eat food, you're part of the killing. Doesn't matter how careful you are. Doesn't matter what source you consume from. You are killing things. You are part of that. We pillage the earth. If you drive a car, you're part of the gases that pollute the air. If you breathe in oxygen, all of these things, folks, you're parasiting the earth. And this 9 of diamonds, and especially when you get, this is the card of the ego. When you get into the ego, this right here, what is the ego wants things. I want. This 9 of diamonds is never content. I want. The diamond suit is I want. And this right here is I feel. Well, what does this do to this? It destroys it. So this is why Brahma, this is how beautiful this is. And how I know we live in a Ponzi scheme. It doesn't matter what culture you decode, you're going to find the same exact answers that lead to the same origins. Is that Shiva the destroyer is part of the parasiting that we do here on earth. That's the context of this right here. And you see, folks, Jesus is here as well. Absolutely. We're going to go. I'm going to get to that in a second. But what I wanted to talk to you about is how we parasite. And I'm going to use nature. I'm going to go to an example I've used before. What you're looking at is a rose bush. And these little green bugs are called aphids. And what they do is they eat the rose bush. So essentially, they are the Shiva character. They are this. The rose bush is like to the rose bush, the aphid is the devil. Please come save me. And then the nice little ladybug comes in and starts chomping down on the aphids. And then the rose bush, if it could talk, it would be like, oh my God, you're my savior. Poor little aphids, right? Well, the aphids are part of Shiva. They're the destroyers. This. And this is what we do. We parasite the earth. No matter if you don't try to do it, just being a human being, flushing your toilet, buying toilet paper, buying food at the grocery store. Even if you're somebody, and I'm going to be very bold here, even if you're a vegan, and I have nothing against that, you still buy products of people that are not vegan, so you're still supporting that way of life. Not everybody is going to become a vegan, and not everybody's going to be a carnivore, and not everybody's going to join and be a vegetarian. That is ludicrous thinking. No, we live in a diverse reality. We live in Maya, and it's all the illusion. We are all part of the destruction of Earth. It generates and then it destroys. And we look at through nature right here. And this is what we do, folks. This is exactly what we do. So here it is right here. Here's Shiva. Right from the Rudra. And there's always Ra here in these tech. It's just so crazy how much raw information. But look what it says. I am the fierce one who destroys to purify to make the world anew. Shiva. There's the 87. And how I know this is tied to Jesus, because Jesus' numerology is right here. Now again, folks, this is from the Greek text. I don't care about Yeshua. Because in the Greeks say this is how it is spelled. And this is where you get Jesus saying, I'm coming with a sword. And we're already seeing the Shiva on the world stage right now. We're already seeing the Jesus character on the world stage in so many different ways. These right here, folks, are undeniable, the connections. Unless, of course, you're somebody who's like, well, no, I don't like numerology. Well, you probably shouldn't be here. It's probably not the right channel for you. Because numerology is the science of numbers, and it's the code that writes the final product of these titles and these ideas that we get in the grand illusion of Maya. Okay, so if you think that you have to follow Jesus, then go do that. But don't sit there and point the finger and say, oh, you're following a false religion because you're doing Hinduism and Shiva. Oh my God, you're going to burn in hell. Because Jesus is Shiva. Let's just get it straight. So we can all just dance and have fun and hug and shake hands and call it a day instead of fighting and bickering about how this world works. Because you're seeing it now, and this is why it's coming out now. It's coming out now because it was supposed to be seeing this kind of stuff. So let's move more into the Brahma and Shiva. And we're going to get into some alchemy now, some science. And I'm just going to take the 166 from Brahma, and I'm going to match it to the element that has that 166 isotope. It's called erbium. Okay, the 68. And how big the 68 is tied to the world wars. Okay, right here is why I have the tank on there. And erbium has several isotopes. 167 is another one. So these numbers are clues. They tell us things about how our reality works. And here's Shiva. Shiva the Destroyer tied to strontium. Strontium has 87 and it has 88. 87.96 is going to round up to 88. And there's the Phoenix. See how amazing this is? Shiva tied to the Phoenix. Shiva the Destroyer is tied to the Phoenix. So now, like, dismissing the Bhagavad Gita and the Rudra and all these amazing texts from different cultures. Oh, you shouldn't be reading that stuff. That's demonic. And it ain't any more demonic than that character. It's all the same crap, folks. And I mean that with the utmost respect. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's an illusion. It's a story. It's a fable. It's a simulation that we're in. And this clears the board. This is why Shiva has so much power, because it represents the explosion. Shiva is like the most powerful one in the cosmologies because it represents the freaking tidal wave, man. The nuclear bomb. It represents destruction, the force. Whereas Brahma doesn't have that. It's more peaceful and more blissful as it creates. Like Brahma is like planting a seed in the ground and watching the flower come up or the orange tree come up. Shiva is destruction. So it's much more powerful. I would imagine why so many people follow the Shiva character in the Hinduism traditions. All right. But let's keep going, folks. So now we can bring more Old Testament into this. This is Isaiah 45 verses 7. This is God saying the Yod, the New Age name Jehovah, which is tied right to Allah, I make peace and create evil. I make light and dark. Right there. There's the numerology of it. 167. It's right there. So the peace and evil is tied to Brahma, and we can easily just use our logic and discernment, Shiva. So this is the Yod saying, I am both the Brahma and the Shiva character. That's just, I'm the one who creates these things. I create and destroy. And it does it through us as human beings, from the so below part. All right, let's get into the cards now. We get into the cards, and I'm going to use the protons from this periodic table. And erbium has 68 protons, which is the 68th card in the tarot, called the Four of Discs, the Four of Pentacles. And you see, this character on the card is Brahma. It's the God, Brahma, part of this trimurti here. And the pentacles, that this is you and I, 4 blood types, 4 directions, 4 seasons, 4 elements. Brahma has control over those, right? The creator God, the creator energy, and it doesn't want to let you go. Stuck inside Maya, because Brahma is part of Maya. And over here, you have Shiva. And 38 is the protons to match the 87 of strontium. And then we have this right here, which is the partnership. Creating a partnership. So it's interesting that Brahma doesn't want to let you go, and Shiva creates the partnership. And while you're down here in Maya, we do both creation and destruction. We all do that. We're creators. We create through being an influencer or being a musician or an artist, or that's all Brahma energy. And then we're part of the destruction. Like when you buy food and eat food and all that stuff, you're part, it's parasiting the earth. It's not bad, folks. It's just the way this whole thing's set up. And there's a partnership with that, with this Two of Cups, for this example. Okay. That's exactly how this stuff works. And it's part of the God. This topic being the GD, well, Brahma is generate, Shiva is destroy. Vishnu is operate. And look at what you get when you add them all up through the numerology. There's that 88. And you now bring in the Law 1 material. So literally we have, let's see, we have Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva, we have the Yod, we have theology, and we're going to get into Greek mythology. And now we have the Law 1 material in here. All of them connected because it's a Ponzi scheme, you see. That's what this whole thing is, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the 64 is here because we have 64 possible codons in our DNA. And there's the GD. You're on this is why the television, see, gadolinium actually was used in the old television screens. But of course, the clue is what we're seeing here. Is that it's God on television. You're the divine on television. You're being watched. And you get born into this world and you'll go out with the sickle. Shiva will get you. Brahma, Shiva, GD. Okay. Generate, destroy. Okay. That's exactly how that works. But let's now get into the middle part now, right? Who's the operator? Who is the operator in all three? Well, it's Vishnu. Vishnu is the operator. And then there's things beyond that. Now Vishnu again sits in the area of, well, I'm going to get to that in a minute, but let me not jump ahead. But Vishnu's 117. You ever heard that song "Break On Through to the Other Side" by The Doors? Look at this connection, folks. Now, how long have I been talking about and mentioning the middle path? Being neutral, right? Not being polarized by the generate or destroy. See this, because Jesus in the Bible will tell you, hey, I wish you were with me or against me. I wish you were shalom and not ra, but I wish you'd pick. Well, when you're here, when you're lukewarm, now you're embracing Vishnu, the preserver, the operator. Now you're in the middle section. Home. Break on through to the other side. That's what the Doors were talking about. And it's so interesting with this song, the producer, Paul Rothschild, The length of the song, 226, which is the weight of Ra. When you add up the numerology of the day, January 1st, 1967, when it came out, that's an 88. So you can see we have Ra tied to the preserver, the Vishnu character. But Vishnu is not complete without the generator and destroyer, Brahma and Shiva. But break on through to the other side. I mean, it's kind of interesting that it has the 88. And again, you come back up here, and the 88 is all three of those. And these three make up and create Maya, the grand illusion. So is this saying here, through all these layers, to break on through to the other side, what's on the other side? You're on the other side of Maya. That's how I would read this. Absolutely. And so this right here, off of the amazing website, stellarium-web.org, this right here is the navel of Vishnu. The location of this right here, the center, the galactic center, is right here. And you have Ophiuchus. That's why Ophiuchus has every right to be part of the other 12 that typically most astrologers will leave out. I was one of them at one point in my life, or at least not paying attention to it. This is 51 Ophiuchi right over there. This is the sun on December 13th, which I feel is the new year, December 13th. But this sits, folks, right here. This right here is Zeus. So it's really, really interesting that we can talk about Zeus here now. Now I'm going to bring Greek mythology into this, because Vishnu is 117, and all I do is bridge it with chemistry. So we go to this element right here, and this is one of tin's stable isotopes. It has more stable isotopes than any other element. I really want you to think about that. Tin has more stable isotopes than any other element on the periodic table. Why? Because it's the preserver. It's the merger of worlds. When you go to the periodic table and you take a look at tin, right? You can see it's this is the merger of worlds. The merger of worlds. That's what this is. And there's the stable isotope. Look at them all. There's the 117 right there. Okay. 116.903. It's going to round up. So tin gets the nod. This is why you have, and how big the 50 is. Cincuenta in Spanish. 50 is tied to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, when it was first released, there was 50 of them. It was released on January 3rd, which is tied to the Jack of Spades, which is the 50th card in the deck, which is tied to the Dream, which is tied to Maya. We're going to get to that. So tin is the big marker here, and we're going to take the calculations to get the card of illumination now, the 117. I'm going to come back to the tin, but we're going to take the 117, we're going to subtract the 52, total amount of cards in the deck. We're going to do it twice, and we get the number 13, and there's the 13th card. The King of Love, man. The highest form of love you can get in the deck, the King of Hearts. So if you really start to use logic with discernment here, the preserver, the operator through the cosmology of this tradition is Vishnu. And it's the King of Hearts, which this is unconditional love. Allowing the good, the bad, and the ugly to happen with Brahma and Shiva. This is unconditional love, the King of Hearts. The highest form of love you can get in the card deck. And that converts to the King of Hearts, which, guess what card number that is? 50. 50. So 50, tied to tin, the 117. She's tied to break on through to the other side. Tied to Vishnu, the preserver. And the unconditional King of Love right here. Unconditional. That's why everything's allowed in this reality. Because it's an illusion, folks. It's not real. You know, when you watch a movie, is it real? Well, you would say, no, it's just a movie. Yeah, but there are real actors. Yeah, I know, but then, is it real? Folks, we're being watched. When you watch a movie, when you watch a show, man, it's not real. It's just recorded. It happened in the past, but there are real people. We're in a show, man. We're in a movie. You're in Maya, the grand illusion. That's what the simulation is. It's Maya. and it's ruled over by the unconditional king of love. We have conditions, which is why you have generate and destroy down here with Brahma and Shiva, because we're not unconditional. We have conditions down here in Maya, the grand illusion. So here are the big three now in chemistry. Erbium, Brahma to the left, Shiva, Strontium to the right, and then tin, Vishnu in the center point, the operator. When you add all of these up, it's called the molar mass in science, you get 370. Now I'm going to show you a technique I have not shown before. I may have shown it one other time before. You see, where do you go with this? Well, we can go into the golden ratio. We can go into the sequence of pi. I'm going to leave that for some of you that want to do it. I want to give you a chance to look at it and see what you find. If you find something, like I want to leave that for you. But what I want to show you something new. So 370 is the total molar mass of erbium, tin, and strontium, which is generate, operate, destroy, Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva. But you see, when I go to the periodic table, and I'm going to go to the last element, the OG, notice that it has a weight of isotope of 294. There's nothing higher than that. So I have a total of 370. Where's my, there? I have 370 by adding up these three elements, but I do not have an element that I can match up to. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the cards. I'm going to subtract 294. That's what I'm going to do. And what do I get? 76. That's what I get. Now, this is the thing, because I've done it with other methodologies, the cards, the tarot, the calendar. And see, I know this is a big thing, because what's the 76 tied to? The beast. Now you bring in the New Testament. And Revelation 13 verses 18 was written in Koine Greek, modern Greek language. Beast is 76. This is the genitive singular format of beast. 76, which is tied to the operating system, which is your eye. This is the zodiac is your eyeball. And the 76, ladies and gentlemen, from this. So think about what I'm showing you. These three make up the operating system. See, this is a thing. This is not like, well, maybe it could fit there. No, this absolutely fits there. And what is the beast? Maya. That's what it says in the Bible. Who can defeat the great beast? Because it's Maya, man. It's the grand illusion. Who can defeat the grand illusion? Nobody. Because it just continues on with or without your consent forever. And it is the operating system, which is the zodiac wheel. So we have confirmation again here that the Trimurti in Hinduism of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva is the operating system, the beast. It is the beast, which are the disciples, which is Jesus. That's why I said it's a Ponzi scheme, folks. And we can't leave out the 76 through the isotope of selenium and the moon. And, you know, like this I could branch off in a million different ways. This one would branch off into a way different topic. But what is up with the moon? What is the purpose of the moon? And how can it be tied to the beast? Well, Revelation 12 verses 3, I saw a beast with 10 horns and 7 heads. These are all part of Maya, folks. It's an illusion. The Bible is an allegorical book. It's a storybook. Okay? It's a storybook. So let's continue on with Vishnu, the operator. And we know now, you know, it's tin, and we get to the 50th card in the cards of illumination, the Jack of Spades. The Jack of Spades, being the 50th card in the deck, tied to the sons of God, if you've been paying attention, is tied to the 62nd card in the tarot, the Knight of Swords. And this is tied to the revolution. We see Vishnu, the operator, is in control of both Brahma and Shiva. So of course it's going to be able to create a revolution because Vishnu is the boss. Kind of holding the pendulum, the regulator, if you will. And how I know that this is also Maya and how it's a simulation and how now it's a dream is this guy. So now I'm going to bridge it again with something else. And this man, Mr. Light here, here's his name, numerology. Do you know who this guy is? His name is, I'm going to tell you what it is. Just hold on. His name is 62, which matches the Jack of Spades, the Knight of Swords. Card number 62. If you say it, it becomes 60, which is Feed the Wolf. Head of the Snake is 60. But you know who this guy is, folks? He's the guy who wrote the song, Row, row, row your boat gently down a stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. So this guy writes the song. His name is a 62, tied to the 62nd card in the tarot. And this card is tied to the Jack of Spades, which is card number 50, which is tied to the element tin, which is tied to Vishnu the Preserver. And Vishnu is part of the Trimurti, which make up what? Maya. And what is Maya, folks? The dream. This reality is a dream. It is a simulation. It is Maya. And now we have absolute confirmation that this is the way this whole reality works. And how big the moon is. DreamWorks Pictures, Fishing from the Moon, Christoph on the Moon. And then Truman Burbank, see you later, I'm out of here. Maybe ascending, leaving Maya, the grand illusion. But what is that? What does it take to do that? So dream, simulation, Maya, all the same thing. This man didn't have a choice, ladies and gentlemen. He's not trying to get one past you. But now when you decode it and we break the code, he comes from Vishnu, who's part of the three that make up Maya. The dream, the simulation. Okay, so now you know. So now, ladies and gentlemen, get to the tail end of this. Now I'm going to connect Greek mythology to all of this. A different culture, a different race of human beings. Because you're talking about the great country of India, second largest population-wise, and you go all the way over to Greek, and it's a long ways away. They didn't have cell phones back then. They didn't have a postal service back then. They didn't have FedEx or DHL. They were writing about, the Greeks were, the Greek gods. Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades are the big three that make up our reality. Zeus got the heavens, Poseidon got the earth, water, and Hades got the underworld. That is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma is Poseidon, Zeus is Vishnu, and Hades is Shiva. Pretty simple, right? Well, let's support that. Let's do it through chemistry. Okay? So here's the numerology of these three. 199. I have this out of order. I hope not. Okay, I don't. 199, I'm going to come back to that, but let's do the alchemology of this. So here is Poseidon. Poseidon has 112, that's cadmium. Zeus has 54, that's chromium. And then Hades has 33, that's sulfur. Well, what happens when you add those three up? The protons. What proton do you land on? 48, 24, and 16? There's that Ra again. Generate, operate, destroy is 88. The God. Ra. Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva. Poseidon, Zeus, Hades. Ra. You see how big Ra is in all this? The law of one. So we have the law of one added to Greek mythology, added to the Hinduism cosmology, added to just what you call God. Remember the break on through to the other side, folks. It's 88, man. I mean, the card that is associated with break on through to the other side, January 1st, is the King of Spades. King of Spades converts into the King of Swords. Card number 64. 64, we go right back to the 64th element. Got the GD element right here. GD. Ra is the Trimurti, man. It's the big three in Greek mythology. So the Greeks have it wrong. I mean, if you're like, are you going to be somebody who tells, oh, if you follow Brahma, you're wrong. It's got to be Poseidon. Like that ridiculousness. You could start to see the amazing connections. And, again, the gadolinium is you're on television, right? That's what it means, folks. So if you want to break on through to the other side, you want to get out of Maya, the television screen. Well, what goes into that? That's the big question, is what would go into that. Well, let's get into the numerology. We're almost finished with this one. Going back here, again, here's the numerology. I got a typo right there. Zeus is spelled wrong. But the 199 for these three, the Greek mythology, the big three, Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva, Poseidon, Zeus, Hades. Same thing. Well, it's 199 they get in the original Greek. And 199 is a prime number. It's the 46 prime number. And there's that 10 of cups again. Remember, Brahma is tied to that. Right? Another huge connection. It's card number 46, and it's tied to double helix. So what does this mean with Brahma getting this card right here? Brahma's the creator god. Well, what is double helix? We get created as human beings through the Brahma energy. And that means that Poseidon gets the nod to be the creator. Because Poseidon got the earth, the waters. And what are we made up of? What is our biology made up of? Water, primarily water. Poseidon. Tied to Brahma. And our double helix. That's the 10 of hearts. The 10. Okay, the 10. Now, what about the 199? Since this is what their numerology is, well, I want to get a tarot card attached to this, so I'm going to do the methodology that we've been doing here. There are 78 total tarot cards, so I'm going to take that 199, I'm going to subtract 78 until I get to 78 or below. And what do we get? 43. And the 43rd card, folks, right here, this to kind of put the nail in the coffin for this presentation, is the 7 of Cups. The 43rd card is the 7 of Cups, and ladies and gentlemen, there's the numerology of the word serpent. I go back to where we started in the beginning. Remember the bismuth and the binary and the serpent and the head of the snake, and being the absolute is the illusion. That's why the serpent is revered in Hinduism. The Nagas, the serpent people. This is why Vishnu lays on the serpents. This is the serpent card, the 43rd card in the deck. What does this card mean? Illusions. What is the big thing about this decode? Maya. And what forms Maya through the Greek mythology? Their say-so, the big three. Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades. They form the Maya. That's what they do. And this is tied to the serpent. And the serpent obviously is tied to the big three. You can't miss it now, folks. This is so beautiful. So you have illusions, and then the illusion of being a human being, the double helix, the 46 card. So you have what appears to be choices, which that's an illusion because you don't have any choices. They're already made for you. And then the illusion of the double helix through the grand central of greatness, the beautification of the 46. So let's finish let's get to the end of this, ladies and gentlemen. So Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva, Poseidon, Zeus, Hades. Here are the three elements to represent Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades. And when I do the numerology of them, that gives us a number 83. And do you remember what the 83 was, folks? Maya. So is there any doubt now? How many times we can do this? These are so strong. This is how perfected this is. Brahma is Poseidon, Zeus is Vishnu, Shiva is Hades. Different cultures, same story. Same story, folks. And then I could just go right back to Judaism. And remember, the alchemology of Maya was right here. Yttrium, helium, zirconium, helium. Folks, what is the Yod He Wah, ladies and gentlemen? What is the Yod He Wah? How about right here? Do you see this now? Yod He Wah. Yod He is the Ma, the mother. The Yod He is the Maya. Maya. Yod He. And so when I go back to a screenshot from the Yod He Wah Decoded, here is the Yod He. So this is part of Maya. And it doesn't get any more clearer than this. Is that the Yod right here from ancient Egypt. So now I bring the Egyptian Book of the Dead into this. And you see, the Yod is the arm or hand. That's right here. He's playing a video game. Maya is the grand illusion, the grand game. And the He is the window. See, he's looking through the window. Right here. This is the He. Yod with his hand on the joystick. And the He right here. Maya. Are you seeing this now, folks? The 5 and the 1. The Yod and the He, man. It's right there, man. This is so profound right here. Yttrium. And this is the Alchemology of Serpent, by the way, but that's for a different story. But just remember that the Yod He from chemistry is 20 and 11. What's 20 plus 11? 31. You go right back to that CIA declassification, that you are the absolute, you are me, you are the divine, the snakehead. Right there. Yod He is 30 freaking 1. From this, from Maya, the illusion. So when you play a video game, folks, it's an illusion. It's light entering your eyes. Are you seeing this now, folks? Are you getting this? So here are my final thoughts for this presentation. Is that we live inside of a Ponzi scheme. And all of these, even if there are deities that you can't see, that are entities, they all are working in unison like we are working in unison. Like the cells in your body are working in unison to do whatever it needs to do to keep you alive as a human being. It's all a Ponzi scheme. The whole thing. So it doesn't matter what culture you follow. It doesn't matter what religion you follow. It doesn't matter what church you go to. It doesn't matter, man. At the end of the day, all of these deities are hanging out, man, laughing and having a good time. That's what we should be doing instead of bickering and arguing and fighting over who's got it right, when the answer is everybody's got it right. Everybody does. At the end of the day, man, these entities here, they just embrace and hug, and they are having a good time. And it's a Ponzi scheme, folks. And that's my final answer. And these are my opinions and truths. You don't have to agree, but this is how I feel this reality works. This is what I'm channeling through. This is not even me telling you this. This is what I'm being used to tell you. Because we're at that stage of the game where we're having all these reveals. And I think there's enough evidence in this decode to show you that it doesn't matter what organization you follow, what deity you worship. They all end up becoming one. They all work for the same boss if you want to separate them. But it doesn't matter because it is a Ponzi scheme. So we should be embracing one another and laughing and having a good time and not trying to prove people wrong just because they don't follow your way or just because you think they got it wrong. They don't have it wrong. Okay? Everybody's got it right. Even if you think they got it wrong, it doesn't matter. It's all part of Maya, which is the simulation, which is the grand illusion. Okay? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Brahma-Vishnu-Shiva Decoded. Would love to have your thoughts. Keep your comments coming. Just keep them cordial. It's all about loving here, man. Especially after this, man. It's all about love, embracing, hugging, shaking hands, having a good time. You do you, I do me. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're living in an illusion, a dream, a simulation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.